Subscribe to Deacon Live wherever you listen to podcasts. Search for Deacon Live, and please give us a nice review.
Bring him in here!
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Well, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, this week in mask debates, Halloween has been saved this year and is now a federal offense to harass a non-mask wearer in this state, and weird coloring book that has showed up on Walmart's website that has someone from the upcoming election in it, and it's kind of disturbing, and it's out there for you. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're doing all right. And before we get started right here, oh man, because I've been playing so much, I'm just trying to lose 30. I got it. Hands above the head. Deep breath. Oh my God. My wife has gone back to work, by the way. Yeah, I say go back to work like she was out of work. No, she was off. She was on vacation last week, and she decided to join us here in the studio, which was nice. She's not really radio friendly, so like when we were listening back to the podcast and stuff, I'm like, hey, see what you did wrong here, and I'm just that way. I'm like, see what you did wrong here, and this is what you got to do. And she's like, I'm not a radio expert. I'm like, babe, I understand that. You know what I'm trying to. And anyway, she got it, and we watched it or listened to it. And I say we watched it. Every podcast that you hear here on Deacon Live, we also have a live video here in the studio, and I'm waving to you on the cameras here. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on Deacon Live, and you can see every podcast has a video connected to it as well. So I'm as you heard last week, I was trying to lose 30 pounds, and there's something really cool here in our little area. Now, I'm part of the Facebook feed, or part of the Facebook. I'm part of the Instagram. I'm part of the Twitter. I'm part of the YouTube. I'm part of all the stuff, Instagram, and all the stuff that connects us to you and you to us. I'm part of all that, and the way you can connect yourself to us is to go to Prophet Radio and connect on the or click on the social contacts. But there's a little, you always have these little pages and stuff, and for whatever reason, I got into this I sold my house. I had a house in downtown Orlando. I've got several houses in the Florida area, and I sold one. It was getting to the point where I'm better off selling it and recouping the money out of it, or not recouping, but making some money off of it, rather than renting it out for the next 10 years. And what happens when you do that? Well, you get all the realtors, you get all the licensed people, you get all that stuff. So you get lucked into all these, Facebook pages and Facebook groups and stuff. One of the Facebook groups that I've gotten into here in the local area. Now, we are in just outside of Charlotte in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And I found one that says, it's called What's Up Marshville. Now, to rewind a little bit, I was part of a internet broadcast station that was called What's Up based on your state. So I was a part of the WSUP-FL, which was Florida, and then we were branching off and doing, WSUP and C, WSUP and Y, depending on the state you were at. And it was a big old thing I was part of, and it was really, really building up. And then someone said a cuss word on the radio and completely killed us, and we didn't get the contract. So the whole thing ended up falling apart on us. Thanks a lot, by the way, there, dipshit. Cussed on the air. So I'm part of this little news feed, little Facebook page, little group that's called What's Up Marshville. And it's fun because you see that, and you see all the people in your community, and you see all the stuff going on. And one of the things that I put up there, I'm like going, you know what? We live in this rural town, town of maybe 2,500 people. And I'm used to playing pickup basketball. I'm used to playing, I told you many times before, I was the part of the training team and the Magic in the 92, 93 season. I was the training team. You know how you always have the guys with the orange shirts on going up against the pros? Yeah, I was just there to run up and down the court. So I've always had that. I've played basketball my whole entire life. So I wanted to get out there, and I got to lose weight. We're getting ready to go on vacation, and we've been, COVID-19 here at the house. I put on the COVID 38, and I say 38. I'm exaggerating about that. My wife, we kid about it, but for the most part, so every day I go out there. We've got a little basketball. There's a church on the corner of our property, on the end of our road, our main drag here in Marshville, and they've got a nice basketball court. One of those basketball goals that you can, spin up or spin down, and they got a really, really nice nylon net out there. So I posted on the What's Up Marshville, hey, anyone want to play a, game of 21? You know how to play 21, right? Tip-ins, all that stuff. And then if we get enough people out there, we'll play a 3-on-3. And I'm typing like I'm typing on the thing here. And so I waited, and everyone's like, maybe 4 or 5 people clicked on and said, ha ha ha, it's funny. I'd love to be out there. I'm 16. And I posted, I wanted everyone 30 and above, because I don't want the little kids out there messing around, Get out of here, kid. I play with a leather ball, and I sit there, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. This is 10 o'clock on Monday morning after I did all my chores here on the French. Nothing. No one showed up. No one did anything. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe because I'm new to this website, the website or the fan page, the Marshville fan page has been up for only maybe, I don't know how long it's been up. So I posted again. Took pictures of me out there on the basketball court. Hey, this is me. I'm really doing this. This is what I'm doing. Posted on the Facebook page. What's the typical shot that you see? You want a basketball goal in the background, me in full gear, and a basketball in my hand. So, hey, look, I'm out here playing basketball. So the next night, I post, I'm going to bed. Did anyone show up? No one showed up. I'm a little sore, though. God almighty, I'm sore. No one showed up. So I post again. Hey, what's up, Marshville? Hey, no one showed up today. That's cool. I understand. New guy here on the block. I'm gonna be out there again tomorrow, and from 10 to 11, and we'll shoot around until we get enough people to play a full-on game. Because it's a half court. It's a nice half court. So I'm like, all right. My numbers doubled this time around, saying, I like it, love to be out there, blah, 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 all the stuff that goes on. Went out there, nobody showed up again. And I kind of sat there and thought, this is what the NBA's going through. Not that they don't want to play with me or anything, but, this is why gyms aren't opening up. This is why all these outside events and stuff, they don't want anyone sweating on you. They don't want anyone breathing on you. The coronavirus, if you're part of the whole coronavirus thing, not that it's not real or whatever the case may be, but, some people are afraid. I think they're afraid. I think they're afraid to come out there, not because of my skills, but to get out there and sweat. And the only thing I can think of in my mind when I'm like, people are afraid to come out here, and afraid to, post up, afraid to do all that stuff. What's the one movie where, I know, it's disgusting. What was it, Meet the Fockers? Where Ben Stiller, the guy went up for a jump shot, and his face just ran down the hairy man's fat belly, hair all over, and stuff was sticking to him. That whole scene, ah. It's not like that. Come on, guys. But I mean, I think that's what everyone thinks in their mind when they want to come out and play pickup basketball. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'll chalk it up. I'll just play by myself. I'll play with myself out there. I put my little radio out there. I got a little Bluetooth. Thank you, JBL. By the way, they stepped up. I didn't get a set of headphones, but I did get one of those little 4x4 JBL little Bluetooth speakers they sent me. Thank you very much, JBL. Appreciate it. Still need headphones, but anyways. And, turn the phone on, put my favorite my favorite news show that's on iHeartRadio, and broadcast it there. And while I'm sitting there shooting around, and I shoot around. I tell myself 1 hour. 1 hour I'm going to shoot around. And for the last couple days, my forearms are sore. My forearms are sore. My calves are a little sore. And you're like, oh, well, why? Why are you sore? Your forearms are sore. Let me tell you a little story. So a guy I used to work out with many, many years ago, lift weights, pump weights all day long, push weights, do all this stuff. He's like, I'm going to take a boxing class. All right, cool. You're going to take a boxing class, Chris? Go ahead and take a boxing class. He had the 2-ounce gloves, 3-ounce gloves or something like that. Not the ones that are really, really small, the next size up, where you can hit someone in the face really hard and it really doesn't mess with them. He said I think it was a 15-minute match. Just sit down and just punch each other. You're not swinging. You're just trying to make contact. You're just boom, 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 boom. A 15-minute match. What is it? 3 5-minute rounds. He said carrying those 3-ounce gloves around, you have to keep them up. You have to keep your stance. Do the boxing stance. He said his shoulders were so sore just from holding those 3-ounce gloves up. He said the next day he couldn't raise his arms. And it's kind of the same thing with the basketball. I'm sitting there with a basketball over my head, doing, jump shots and all the stuff that you do when you play basketball and you warm up and do your thing. And my forearms and my shoulders were sore. And so when you see basketball players and the big round shoulders and that's how they get that big and round. I know. So there you go. There's the anatomy of how to play basketball and the reason why they got big shoulders. All right, well, when we come back, we'll dive into the show here. And I do want to talk a little bit more about what's up Marshville because there's a post on there that's kind of funny. And maybe you've got something in your own town. I know there's nextdoor.com. But because of the pandemic and stuff, outside of Facebook, there's all these little side avenues that people are complaining about stuff. And we'll get into that here in just one sec. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call anytime at the station at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time at the Queen City Studio, located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is to go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on social contacts and you can find out all the way that we connect to you and you can find us. And make sure you like us, share us, and comment and do all the stuff that you're supposed to do when you listen to a podcast or you like a show or any of that stuff. And by the way, I'd like to thank California. I'm seeing big numbers out in California. Love all you guys out there. I'm seeing big numbers in Canada as well. And over in France, I'm seeing France, which is really, really cool that we're reaching all the way across the seas again. We got a couple times we were doing some advertisement for some questionable people over in the European area, but France, I'm seeing big numbers over there, and we appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you very much. So now we were talking about being on one of your Facebook pages. Fan page or whatever it is, and I'm on the What's Up Marshville, which is our little local town here. It's kind of like it's either a swap shop or they're complaining about stuff. And one of the things they're complaining about right now is the water pressure. Now here on the France, we're just outside. We're probably about maybe hold on, let me get this straight. So Marshville, the center, what they considered the center, like town hall, city, whatever, we're probably about maybe 2 miles outside of quote unquote Marshville. So we are on 20 some odd acres here. We have a well. We have a pump, a well. and the well is large enough where it feeds the barn, it feeds the house, it feeds all the sprinklers, all the crops, and all that stuff. So we've got a really, really nice dedicated aquifer. We've got a really, really good vein, is what they call in the business, to where we're not really going to run out of water. Now, in the town of Marshville, they're trying to... I know this for everyone that I just said, in France and California, but it's a common occurrence. So the little town of Marshville is trying to glom on to the next city's sewage. And what's happening is they're busting pipes, like all the old water pipes in the ground. And so like all the our downtown area is like all our restaurants, all our, everywhere where we go, our favorite Mexican restaurants down there, our favorite little coffee shops down there, they have no water pressure because the construction company, because they're making wider roads, or they're breaking all the water lines. So everyone's like going, I'm lost water pressure, blah, 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 blah. And I, this and that, and I got to boil water and stuff. And it's on a daily occurrence. So everyone's complaining on this website, which is great. That's what it's kind of there for. What's it called? Squeaky wheel keeps the grease, or grease and sticky wheel, or whatever it's called, whatever that analogy is. Now, something that we've had here recently is all the kids are now going back to school. Now, you had up until, depending on what state you're in and what kind of county, what kind of, community that you're in, you had up to whatever time to figure out if you're going to send your kids to school or you're going to homeschool them. Now, I've seen studies back and forth, kids can't spread corona, they can spread corona, they can bring it home to you, it's kind of like a virus, it sticks on your clothes, you throw it in the laundry, and then it's in your water supply, and then your neighbor gets it. Just a lot of crazy different stories that I've heard and seen. Most of them, it's the media, how much are you going to believe? But for the most part, I see all the... What's the biggest thing, like when school starts? You always see like the school pictures. Hey, there's a little Stevie and little Michelle out there with the little board that says, I'm in 6th grade, I'm in junior high, I'm this and I'm that. Thank God, not for nothing, but thank God we really didn't see that a whole lot this year. What you are seeing, in my opinion, what I've seen on my Facebook feed, with all you guys out there, all the fans of the Deacon Live show, appreciate each and every one of you, is a lot of kids sitting in front of these little, remember back in the day, the IBM ThinkPad? Do you remember those? They're really, really, they work well. Believe me, the station runs on a Think Tower. We have 3 Think Towers here in the studios, IBM, and they work really well for that one particular person or that one particular job. If you give it many jobs, it has a hard time. But remember the ThinkPad? It's this small, it's maybe 15 inches wide, and you flip it up, and it's almost the equivalent of like when the portable DVD players came out, the screen's like that big, and all these kids are sitting in front of it, and they look miserable. They look at you like... Hey, and they got the headphones on, they got the cell phone in their hand, and they're trying to log on. Here's Melissa, sophomore in high school, and Melissa's sitting there rolling her eyes like, Mom, really? I'm sitting here in my room, my bedroom, with my shirt on, my house shirt, and a pair of pants, not my good pants, because I don't want to wear the good pants. I'll just wear a pair of pants, and I'm sitting here trying to log on to school, and errors left and right. But kids are going to miss out because 80% of actually parents have decided to have their kids statewide, countrywide. 80% of the parents have decided to keep their kids at home or do the 50-50, 3 days at home, 2 days in class, 3 days at home, 2 days in class. I don't understand that, but there is people are worried about the coronavirus, and but one thing I used to look forward to, going back to school, It's just going back to school, seeing your friends, hanging out with those people. Now, granted, when I grew up, all my schools were in walking distance from my house. We lived in a very, very great community. It's called Skylake. You can look it up. Or Candlelight, I think it's Candlelight Park. Not in the Central Florida area. Conway Lakes, Belle Isle. I don't want to say it was upper middle class, but it was upper middle class. You know, my dad was a loan shark. What are you supposed to do? He goes out there and breaks legs if you owed him money. But we lived in a very, very nice area. So I was able to walk to every school that I went to. So all the friends that I had, I see them, summer school or not, we'd see them in the neighborhood anyways. But you miss all that when school starts. You miss that being in school for 8 hours. Like, you know, you're all right, you're a sophomore or you're a freshman in high school. You've learned how to do high school. You learn how to do all that stuff. Now you're a sophomore. So now you're the hip kid on the campus. You're not a junior. Juniors really don't care. They're just trying to get into college. Seniors are barely wrapping up their stuff. Their goals are set far away. So you're basically the sophomores rule the school. You determine the fads, the hip stuff that's going to happen in the next 3 years. Think about it. It's kind of like electing a president. So the sophomore guys are kind of establishing that. So you know, kids at home are going to miss out on, I don't want to say learning how to smoke, but the first heartbreak in school, the first, well, you know, all the stuff that happens when you're in high school, all the social events in high school. I'm not talking about baseball, football, and stuff. I'm talking about actual physical one-on-one conversation, contact, and stuff. Oh, little Jimmy didn't give me his sandwich at lunch. Tommy sat with Teresa. Teresa always gets a bad rap on my show. And so what does that mean? Why is she going over to his house? Why is he hanging out with her? Why is her talking to him? Why is she talking to her? All that stuff, the gossip, the stuff that makes you feel alive. It makes you feel alive. When you're in high school, it makes you feel alive. Now, junior high, elementary school, you just want to get home to play Fortnite. You just want to get home, get it back to your computer. You just want to get out of school and be back home where it's safe. You feel safe at home. But when you get to that 13, 15-year-old, you want to get out and you're starting to explore yourself physically. You know, ooh, wow, you know, I feel funny down there. But you do. I mean, that's kind of like where, you know, the whole thing about losing your virginity at prom, that's kind of the whole thing, or homecoming or whatever your fucking whore mom or whatever told you when she lost her virginity. Anyway, so there you go. But I mean, everyone's missing out on that. And that's what shapes our country. That's going to shape our community. That's going to shape our, as small as that may seem, if you've got a person that literally stays at home all day long, there's no one that's going to go out there and say, I want to get a job or make something of myself or do something of myself and go out there and physically do something to better themselves, better their family, better themselves, educational-wise, social-wise, all that stuff. It's going to affect our, do it for the children. Do it for the children. So there you go. That's it. I mean, I just remember my high school days. I remember these two girls that had a crush on me. I used to walk to school every day. And walking to school was nothing. That was a common thing. And these two senior girls, my wife's going to love this. I was a sophomore. These two senior cheerleaders used to pick me up as I'd walk to school. Hey, you need a ride, Deacon? Sure. And I'd jump in the back seat of their little Jetta and Volkswagen Jetta. I don't think they make those anymore, but you can tell what year this is. And they said, I'm like going, what's this on the floor? And oh, that's orange juice with vodka in it. Why don't you take a sip? And I took a sip and took 2 sips and took 4 sips. And I didn't make it the first period class. But I mean, those are the type of things, the type of environmental things that shape you as you grow older. These are the decisions, you know, hey, I didn't have to take a sip of that. or I didn't have to jump in the back seat of these two hot cheerleader girls that were driving me around. It's these type things. You don't get those anymore. And I think that's what our next community of adults are going to miss out on. And when we come back, something that we're not going to miss out on is something that's celebrated year after year. A lot of people dedicate their whole entire lives to it, dedicate the whole month to it, and it's Halloween. And stick around, we'll get into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, and click on the social networks or the social contacts there, and you can find a way to connect you to us and us to you. And something that we do here at Deacon Live, Deacon Live does a weekly show here from the Queen City studio. Now, something else we also do a lot of different individual podcasts that kind of helps you get in between. It's kind of like the we do the main podcast here, and we have all these little side podcasts, little side catchers and stuff. And one of the things that we dive a lot into political stuff, and it's non-biased, whether it be Democrat and stuff. We actually try not to do a whole lot of that here on the Deacon Live podcast. But if you want that kind of craving as far as what's going on in the world, that really, really deep, heavy internet stuff, people are talking about, go over to Is This Going Somewhere? And basically it's conversations with my IT guy, and I sit there and it's totally not scripted at all. It's me asking him how he's doing, and he asks me how I'm doing, and then I throw a couple questions out there, and it's kind of like pulling the pin on a grenade and just throwing it out there and seeing what happens. So that's Is This Going Somewhere? And you can find them or find us on prophetradio.com. And, when you get when you're caught up to date on all the podcasts here, and that'll get you to the next one. Kind of like a spoon feeding you. I don't know. Shit, you say it's some other stuff that we do here on the podcast. We are, multifaceted. Now, someone that's multifaceted is Walmart. Now, Walmart out there, you could basically buy anything off of Walmart.com. Now, Walmart and Amazon, they kind of go head and head, back and forth. You can buy this, you can buy that, you can buy it from us cheaper. I always like to grocery shop at the Walmart. I said this in the bonus show that I think Walmart is the COVID-19 headquarters, because it is. I mean, you got all sorts of knuckleheads walking in there. I'm not wearing a mask. I am wearing a mask. Well, they're kind of, I don't want to say they're strict. It's kind of like telling the kids not to eat dirt before, it's kind of like it's a nursery, hey, don't eat the dirt. Well, he's eating dirt. Well, there's nothing really you can do about it. All right, well, let him eat dirt then. So on the Walmart website, it's really weird. I don't know how it comes out or how it happens, and watch this on the under the tent video. Is this coloring book that has come out? Now, if you're watching this on the under the tent video, you can look at it right now. It's called A Hot Cup of Joe, a piping hot coloring book with America's sexiest moderate Joe Biden. It has over 107 reviews, and it looks like it's got like 1.5 stars. But it says it's a hot cup of Joe, a piping hot coloring book with America's sexiest moderate Joe Biden. And it's Joe Biden, his face and stuff, all cartoon drawn and stuff. And he looks kind of ripped. Let me make sure that we can see this. Yeah, he's totally ripped on this coloring book, and the coloring book sells for $11.98. Add to cart? Sure, why not? So if you see it out there, Joe Biden has a coloring book out there where he's totally ripped, and he's drinking a cup of coffee. Looks like he's in a like a coffee house. There's mustard and ketchup on the counter, like the yellow and red squeeze things, napkins, and cake under a glass right there on the thing. So yeah, a hot cup of Joe coloring book is available on, if you're that much of a diehard for Joe Biden, on the Walmart website. Now, one of the things I've been doing here at the Prophet radio station, I'm in charge of downloading like the newest songs and the newest music and stuff, and I have a whole list here of all the music and stuff that has come out per month. And I got a special website. I go through all that, and I sign up for it, and I pay for it. And, the station pays for it. I don't pay for it. And then I go through all the 20 songs that are coming out that month, the stuff that you're going to hear on your modern rock stations. Now, one of the things that I have a problem with is I'm looking through all the bands, and as of 2020, I've been put in charge of this. I had someone else doing it up until here. And now that because of the coronavirus, he's not allowed here in the station anymore. So now, as of January 2020, I've been doing this, and I was putting it out there, and I was like, all right, I'll do all this, I'll, put all this stuff up. And then I started getting the list. And now as we get further, as of March, 2020, as we get further and further and deeper into the coronavirus thing, I'm like looking at these bands, I'm looking at these songs as far as what this now, it's not billboards, it's not any of the popular things. These are actual promo lists. Because remember, I was telling you I was doing the whole radio broadcast, music broadcast based on state per state. So these are the 20 songs that are coming out per month. Like these are the songs that are going to be taking over your airwaves. And I'm looking at these and I'm like going, okay, well there's Pearl Jam, I see them. And then there's Incubus, I see them, I like them. The Used, I like them a lot. And I'm going through, and then as I get in deeper and deeper into the pandemic, this was April of 2020. Here's March, Third Eye Blind. And you can see all the, here on the video, let me switch screens. As you can see here, I'm looking at the, switch to the other screen. You see that? All right. So here's the March 2020, and then I'm like, all right, here's May, and I'm like, oh, there's the Killers and Bush, and let's see who else is Dayglow. All right, well they might be a new band, and I'm looking at the other bands, and I'm like, all right, well here's Billie Eilish, Heard of Her, Weezer, like them. And then it starts getting really, really obscure. Like all these different bands. Like there's Oliver Tree. All right. The Wallows. Let's see, who else? The Airborne Toxic Event. All right. White Reaper. Valet. A group love I know. And Camp with 2 A's. Brian Breen, Cleopatra, and I'll tell you what, I like them. I listen to them. Boy Pablo, Blue de Tigra, and all these different bands. I'm like going, and then I listen to them, and I'm like going, well, you want to hear some guitars, you want to hear some riffs, you want to hear some, little. Even if you don't have guitars and riffs, you want a nice, good bass line in there to kind of get you. All right, yeah, I feel good. This is modern rock music. This is what. And I'm listening to it, and I'll play some in between, in and out of the breaks and stuff, and you can listen to it. But if you want to listen to all of it, you can go to prophetradio.com, and we've set up a 2020 musical playlist. And I'm like going, maybe I'm old. What's the whole thing? If it's too loud, you're too old. Fuck that. Turn it up as loud as you want. I will listen to it as loud as you want. My biggest pet peeve my whole entire life is if I'm listening to music that I like, music sound, audio, because I'm an audio junkie whore. If you turn it down and I'm listening to it, I literally go, what are you doing? I'm listening to that. I get I literally do. My wife, she understands that. I never yelled at her that way. But like if we're in the truck and the song's a little too loud, she's like, hey, it's a little loud. Can you turn down? I will turn it down. No problem. Turn down. But outside of that, if someone comes over and goes, yes, I'll turn down. Or, I'm like in the middle of a song and, hey, hey, can you move your truck? And fuck that. Listen, music. All right, there you go. So, yeah, I mean, the music that has, since the coronavirus has started, the music that they're releasing on the your podcast and I don't want to say iHeartRadio because we love iHeartRadio, but your radio station, your terrestrial rock stations, and the music, listen to it. Some of my old timers out there, when I say old timers, my friends out there in their 30s and 20s and stuff, that they've noticed that the music genre has changed, and I just want to bring that up. Now, one thing that, speaking of don't be a pussy, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, has declared themselves, we are not doing it. We're not doing Halloween Horror Nights. We don't want to go out there. We don't want to run the risk of anything. We don't want to jeopardize ourselves, or we can't. One of the things is they probably can't figure out how to do it, how to not be social distance or social do anything and still have a social impact as far as the actual. So great news for all you out there that need your scare scream spine tingled. Busch Gardens Hollow Scream, The Fear Is in Your Eyes, will continue. Weekends, not the week, normally it's a weekdays, from September 25th all the way to November 1st. Don't panic, Hollow Scream is coming. Tampa Bay's premier Halloween event is prepared to return with a whole new way this fall with a 21st annual Hollow Scream. This year's modified production will be unlike any other, including significant enhance in safety and health measures. Yeah, screw all the last past years of them doing this at the core of this event. The event will be modified and feature open-air scare zones, limited capacity admission with reservations is required, and physical distancing. Hollow Scream is a separate ticketed event, blah, blah, blah. 18 horrified nights at Busch Gardens beginning September 25th all the way till November 1st, 2020, every Friday through Sunday. So it's only on the weekends. To help maintain physical distancing, the event advanced online reservations will be required. So you have to sign up for it. Guests are strongly encouraged to make reservations early as space is limited. Protective face masks will be required. Now that's a change, because anytime you went to a Halloween event at any time, they said no face masks, no costumes or anything like that. To learn more about our healthy and safety guidelines, click here. I'm not going to do that. But for the most part, there you go. If you in Florida, if you want your Halloween scare, Busch Gardens is doing it. Now, I've been through like the haunted hayride, the haunted there was a couple JCs in the Central Florida area where you walk through. Basically, it was these 2x4s, 4x8 sheets of plywood, creating like hallways and stuff. But you were in the outside, like they'd be scaring you, and you look up and you're like, oh, there's the moon and the sun and the stars. So maybe that's kind of what they're doing as far as when they say everything's going to be on the outside. I hope it works well, because I know a lot of people out there are really, really. They love the Halloween. They love the Halloween scare. And hopefully Busch Gardens in Tampa, Florida can fulfill that for them. When we come back, something that scares some people, and we'll do the whole mask debate here in just one sec. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. And while you're there, we have a small little Small little side show that we call Is This Going Somewhere? And this helps you get in between, if you need that DeaconLive fix. It's a little heavier show, a little bit more political show with my good friend IT Dan. He is a diehard community service guy, if you know what I mean. And these conversations, the last one we had was really, really good. His wife got involved on it. But it's really, really good. I don't take any sides. I just kind of pose the questions and let them, fish themselves and explain themselves as well. That's kind of, I think everyone's equal. So I just let people just describe their side and give them the options. You can give us a call at any time at the station at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time at the Queen City Studio, located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Beautiful little town we like to call Marshville, by the way. And by the way, you know what? I was talking to, remember the last couple podcasts ago, I was talking about good friends of ours, and they had the coronavirus. I'm going to call on and check on them and see how they're doing. See if I can get a hold of them.
Hi, this is Tom Welsh with Tyson Foods. I'm sorry I missed your call. Please leave a message and a phone number, and I'll return your call as soon as possible. Thanks.
Hey, bud, just checking on you. Make sure you're doing okay. I haven't heard from you for a couple days. Give me a call back at any time. 407-448-8800. Bye. All right, so maybe he's out of his truck or whatever, and he'll get back to me. Hopefully, I want to hear from him. Hopefully he's not, gone away. Gone away. Now, for whatever you might think, whatever you might believe, as far as wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, there's got to be some kind of, I don't know, truth, fiction, all that stuff. The only thing I can say is, if you're in a room and everyone's naked and that someone's got a disease, and the only way that disease spreads is by, farting, pissing, shitting, or spitting, wouldn't you do the best you can to protect yourself? If that's the way it, kind of quote unquote spreads. I don't know. My wife and I, we're kind of quarantined here, self-quarantined here on the French, but we have, 20 some odd acres here, and I go out and do all the shopping. You guys know this. I've preached it over and over again, and I wear the mask, and I wash my hands, and do all this stuff. My wife's kind of you heard the last podcast, she's kind of hanging out here at the French. Now, some people I don't understand the outrage. I understand the outrage to a certain point, but I don't understand the whole getting up in people's faces. Now, I tell you this to tell you this. A video shows an anti-mask tirade over in Arizona. Hey, our good friends over in Arizona, maybe they know about this. Before he was hauled out, a man's launched into a profane-laced tirade against masks in the Arizona grocery store before he was carried out of the store by another customer. Now, there's a store, I guess, over there called Sprouts Farmers Market. I don't know. Looks kind of big. Looks like a Bass Pro Shop type front. A 49-second post on Monday's Facebook. You can see that has been seen over 65,000 times. Shows a man wearing a white hat and a blue shirt yelling profanities at the Sprouts Farmers Market in Tucson, Tuscan. Sorry, I told you, dyslexic. Tuscan, Arizona. Tucsun. I don't know how, English was not my major, as you can tell. With three other younger men around him. None of them were wearing masks. In the video, the older man, who has not been identified, you can hear him clearly saying, "These people won't learn. You're a bunch of idiots wearing masks, he says. You all know it's not real. The video contains obscene language, blah, blah, blah. The man walks closer to the Sprouts employees who's wearing a mask and uses a series of fuck you type shit. Look at you fools, he says. He compares a mask to a doily and calls them a... we're going to watch the video here in just one sec. Someone off camera appears to curse at the group. Another man in the video appears to be a customer, steps between the man and the employee. So if you want to see this video, go to properradio.com, click on DeaconLive, and you can see this video live as we talk about it here on the show. So here we go. Hold on, I got to switch screens here. I got to make this a little bit bigger so everyone can see it. We're all friends here. Ready? And here we go. Nope, hold on. Hold on. Here we go.
People won't learn. These people won't learn. You're a bunch of idiots wearing masks. You know it's not real. Look at you fools. You got a f***ing doily on your face. You look like you got it off your mom's counter.
Retard was the word he was looking for.
You look like an idiot. You're a child. Trying to make you wear a mask. Shut up. You're a dork. Look at you, you giant dork.
You're a dork.
Come outside. Come outside so I'll talk to you.
Come outside so I can beat your ass down in the parking lot.
Mask off your face like a You're a bunch of wearing masks. Loser.
Goodbye.
You forgot your avocados there, sir. You want them? No? I'll just put them back on the shelf. But you know what's funny? It's mostly white people. It's mostly white people, male and female, that are pissed off. And I hate to say that because, I mean, what is the answer there? You know, who's the message not getting to, and who's the message getting to? Like I said, if you're in a room full of naked people, and hey, guess what? You can wrap me up in tinfoil and strap me down with silicone grease. I'm not getting sick. Now, I don't get to the extreme, but I will walk into a store and wear a mask. I started wearing a mask mainly because, I don't want to bring anything home to my wife. There's the whole herd mentality, herd disinfectant and stuff. I don't want to bring that into my wife because, like my wife said, neither one of us can afford to get, she's down, I'm down. And so that's what's happening there. Now, when we come back, it's a federal offense. They just passed a law in this certain state that is now a federal offense to attack someone who does not have a mask on. And when we come back, we'll get into that here in just one sec. And do you think fairies are real? Duh. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? This world would be a better place if they were. Stick around. We'll get into that here also. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Let me text him. Maybe he's... Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call at the station anytime at 407-448-8800. We are broadcasting just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Hopefully they'll get their water main vein fixed and all the construction work that they're doing. They're trying to revamp the whole downtown Marshville area, which is great. There's a lot of new coffee shops, new businesses opening up, but with this whole corona pandemic and stuff, I don't know how quickly they're going to be able to, fill the tables and stuff. So hopefully they'll get all that figured out as well. Now, all you people, one thing that we have figured out is everyone trapped at home likes this certain kind of soda because they are selling out. I mean, the manufacturer cannot keep up with the soda that's being bought off the shelves. Now, what's your favorite soda? My favorite soda, I really don't have one right now, but my go-to soda is either a Diet Mountain Dew. Here in the Carolinas, everyone lives and breathes and dies by cheerwine. Everyone's like, oh, what's cheerwine? Is it alcoholic? And no, it's not. It's just kind of like a syrupy berry. I don't like it. It's too sweet. And then Sundrop. Sundrop is the equivalent, like Squirt. Some areas have Squirt sodas. Some areas have Sundrop here in the Carolinas, but it's kind of their equivalent of the Mountain Dew. Now, Mountain Dew, of course, is worldwide, but they have found out that now the Pepsi-Cola company, the people that distribute sodas, has found out that your favorite soda with 23 blends of different herbs and spices, sounds like KFC or Popeyes or anything like that, Dr. Pepper is selling out faster than they actually can make it. So they're finding out that now, and that may be a good thing, for advertisers and stuff, Dr. Pepper is selling out. They can't get enough Dr. Pepper out there to the public. We have seen a lot of things fly off the shelf during the COVID-19 pandemic, and some shoppers unfortunately walk by empty aisles with toilet paper and stuff like that. Dr. Pepper soda, the most popular soda company, broke the news of this shortage on social media pages, but said they're trying to work on it. They're trying to get it up to speed here. So all you guys out there, if you want Dr. Pepper, I know, here we go. Toilet paper rush, here comes the Dr. Pepper rush, because they are running low on Dr. Pepper. We are doing everything in our power, says the makers of Dr. Pepper, to get our product back in your hands. We appreciate your parents, your parents and your patients, and encourage you to contact your local realtor directly for the most up-to-date availability of Dr. Pepper products. I can see that happening. Hey, man! I need my Dr. Pepper, bro. So the statement also explains the source applies to all the flavors of Dr. Pepper, including the newest flavor of Dr. Pepper, the cream soda. My wife hates the cream soda. So anyway, So anyways, Dr. Pepper is not the Diet Dr. Pepper, which is sad. The regular Dr. Pepper, they're having a hard time filling the shelves because everyone's buying it off the shelves quicker than they can make it. Now, quicker than they can make it in some states is okay. But here in this state, a lot of people are being, yelled at when you go into a convenience store, you go into a restaurant, you go into a grocery market. We heard the last guy who was like, "Oh, you're wearing a doily on your face. This is all BS." And I can say bullshit and stuff. Now, this state took it in their own hands and said, "You know what? Hey, it's a social mandate. It's been handed down from the government, from the president to our local municipalities, to our local governments, governor, mayors, all those things right now." And the governor, J.B. Pritzker, in the beautiful state of Illinois, my wife says, I say it wrong, Illinois. Anyone who assaults an employee for enforcing the use of masks can now be prosecuted as aggravated Anyone who assaults an employee for enforcing the use of masks can now be prosecuted as an aggravated battery in the state of Illinois. That is, telling patrons of a business to wear a mask or maintain social distancing in Illinois is now considered aggravated battery and usually is a felony. So if you're in Illinois and, the little, "Excuse me, sir." "Yeah." "Can you put on a mask?" "No." "Oh, sir, I'm going to ask you to leave." "Fuck you." "All right, as long as you don't put your hands on them or whatever." But it's now a federal offense. And you can get up to, let's see what it says. The law went into effect immediately. The provisions of the law say disputes it uses in terms of the violent. New Jersey earlier this month. A woman was assaulted, blah, blah, blah. Also this month, the police consented to... All right. So it is... Oops. Did I hit that a little too fast? I did. Thank you. Under the Illinois Department of Public Health and Emergency rules, the business can repeatedly refuse to comply with the mask requirements in order and can incur. This is the ordinance. $75 to a $2,500 fine. But you can be put into jail for up to. That's smart, right? Put them in jail up to 60 days based on. Well, I thought a felony would be. I think it has to be a year minimum. Oh, it says a minimum, a year for a minimum, with 60 days determined as fair and practice claim. So there you go. If you're in Illinois, don't assault anyone. Don't yell at anyone. The little kid at the grocery store saying, "Sir, you got to put on your mask." I don't have to put on my mask. I don't have to put on my mask. Well, guess what? Now you do. It's now a federal offense, and who knows how long that'll go. It's one of those knee-jerk reactions to what's going on. But the state's trying to protect the employees because the employees are just trying to carry out the mandate that's held down from the governor. All right, when we come back, we'll get into a little bit more lighter stuff. And you guys remember Blockbuster? Yeah, those were the days where you can go on and get a movie and stuff. Well, guess what? They've kind of amped their game up, and I think this is kind of cool if you want to go on vacation. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Call us anytime at the station at 407-448-8800. We are live from the Queen City studio located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. A beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Hopefully sometime, somewhere, we'll get downtown done and all the water features and all the water infrastructure done as well so they can have water pressure. I don't have any water pressure. I understand. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I'll get the message out there, but it's not my fault. Now, sometimes when all you photographers out there, have you ever taken a picture of something and then you're like, oh, in the background there's like an orb or, oh, that's a spirit. That's a, crazy image in the background. Well, this photographer, when they say fairies, little people, who's to say that we here on this planet are the only intelligent life form on this planet? I mean, we know there's bears, there's hippopotamuses, there's beetles, there's birds, there's all that stuff here on the planet. And we think that we are, the most intelligent thing here on the planet. A university professor claims he has discovered a population of fairies and shows his proof. You ready for this? Sometime during your life, you probably watched a cartoon, an animated film, or a movie with a fairy in it. And not sure if, the fairies are real or the mythical creatures and stuff, but how did that come to be? When thinking about a fairy, you probably think of a tiny winged, beautiful woman dressed just like a Tinkerbell, dressed in white or green cloth and living in a fairy tale land, doing wonderful things for humans. However, fairies in the past are not quite like that. Are fairies real? One university professor, John Hyatt, has made a very unusual claim recently, and Hyatt claims that he has spotted multiple strange beings and that haven't been mentioned before. He has taken pictures of these items, so if you're watching this on the Under the Tent video, you can see these actual photos. And many people mock and shun him for his claim, stating that the professor is gone completely insane. Well, let's see what he has to say. To combat this kind of criticism, the professor wanted to capture and show everyone his evidence of the creature. So he did. Hyatt claims that he endured a civilization of fairies that live in England countryside of Rosendale. So all our fans over there in England on the countryside of Rosendale, do you know this guy? Please email me at deacon@prophetradio.com and let me know what's going on over there. And he said when he went there, he took pictures of all of them as proof to show the rest of the world. Hyatt characterizes the fairies with similar physical attributes as humans, but not with a much smaller body. So it looks like these little, I'm going to say they're moths. They're moths, and the way that they fly around, you know, it looks like their legs are out, and it looks like they have two arms out, and they have little butterflies on them. I want to see a face. I want to see a face. You can have arms and legs all day long, but when you see a face, it's kind of like, you know, not for nothing, when you have a baby, I want to see the face. I want to see the eyes. I want to see the nose. I want to see the mouth, because that's physically what determines a human being, correct? No? You know what I mean? You know, the whole... you know, a good friend of mine had twins, and I said, you know, did you see the fingernails? He's like, oh my God, to see the fingernails just lets you know that this person is a human being. This little sack of potatoes, this little sack of onions is a human being. It's got little fingernails. It's got a face and a nose and eyes. This is just wings with arms and legs. So I don't know. I don't know what his, you know, we'll have to see. If it's true, great. All right, you know, we're living in a fantasy land. Now, living in a fantasy land sounds kind of cool sometimes, right? Now, all you 80s babies and 90s babies out there, do you remember Blockbuster? Well, if you don't, there was a place that we actually had to go somewhere. We actually had to drive somewhere. And we actually had to pick out movies off of a shelf that we wanted to watch. And if that one wasn't there, well, guess what? You picked like the second one and the third one and stuff like that. Well, the biggest company here in the United States was Blockbuster. Now, Blockbuster has now shut down completely. Now, the last Blockbuster store is now open, an Airbnb for nostalgic 90s sleepover. Oh, God. Change those sheets. You know, the whole Netflix and chill. It is a Airbnb that has the whole Blockbuster shelf, bed, couch. It's a pull-out couch. I don't know. This seems creepy. The new release aisle, the strange, sweet musk, candy carpet, cardboard is impossible for the choosing of just one movie. So now they've got this whole Blockbuster Airbnb that you can get on. I don't know. I hate to use the word get on. It looks like they have a real nice Sony VHS, yes kids, VHS player, and you can watch all the latest screenings and stuff. So Blockbuster has come out with a Airbnb themed hotel that you can like sign up for. I don't know. I don't know if I want to you know, it's kind of like signing up for you'd have to change the seats, you know, with the whole the whole Netflix thing, that Netflix and chill. I don't know if I'd want to stay at that Airbnb. It seemed kind of crusty. All right, a couple more things before I let you go. Here's one for the good books. You ever see sometimes when you're driving around and stuff, you just see a stray dog and you hope that, hopefully the stray dog finds its home, finds its thing and stuff like that. Well, guess what? This stray dog actually got a job. Yep. The stray dog keeps visiting the Hyundai dealership and they gave him a job and his own badge. This semi-bull mastiff dog persistently showed up at the Hyundai dealership and just wanted to be, loved, wanted to be petted and stuff. And they gave him food, and he looks like a good boy. Look at him, he's a good boy. He's just sitting there, and he was really, really friendly with the customers that were coming in. So they gave him a badge. They gave him a badge with his picture on it, the big smiling face, and he is the customer service dog. They say that the initial plan was to simply provide the dog with refuge, but his ability to greet and interact with all the customers earned him a promotion. Tyson Prime is his name, and Tyson's customer service in stores has been extremely positive. They say the environment and the organization improves, and thanks the dogs very carefully, a very docile nature. And here you look at him. He's got a little tie on him, and his paws are up on the desk. He's sitting in front of like the newest car and stuff. So this company right here, it was a dog for the Hyundai, kept showing up at the dealership all the time. They gave him a job. They gave him a name badge. And I'll tell you what, that's a great, awesome sales pitch right there. Or sales, bring them in. Come on in. Come on in. Come see our dog. And so it's anyone who loves puppies. Who loves puppies? All right, I'm going to take one more quick break. When we come back, you think you've been out late at night? You think you've been out late at night and not drinking? And your husband can figure out whether you did or not? Stick around. We'll get into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. I was looking at my list. I'm like going, I didn't talk about this. I didn't talk about that. Well, we'll get into that next week. So stick around for that. And to whet your taste buds and to get your Deacon Live fill, make sure you go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Click on the Is This Going Somewhere? And it's kind of the conversations, the more political conversations that I have with people. If you want to get into that, it might steam up your dress a little bit. It might fog up your glasses. But at least you have something until the next podcast. And that's Is This Going Somewhere? Over on the Prophet Radio website. Now, some of you people out there, we're allowed to go outside in small quantities and go to the bars and go to restaurants that still serve alcohol. Now, you can't come home and play drunk or play not drunk. I didn't have anything. I thought this video was awesome. This husband was sitting at home waiting for his wife to come home. So I'm sure the bars opened up, and he just wanted, he's sitting at home waiting for his wife to show up. Hold on, I'm going to blow this up a little bit. And she came home. She was trying to, hey, was out with my girlfriends and stuff. And who wouldn't be, with the whole, pandemic, when the bars open up and you just want to let loose and you want to get out of the house. And I'm sure, who knows what the story is. They probably were locked up in the house and locked up in quarantine. And so she went out and she came home and was trying to play it safe. And you can see this video going to prophetradio.com. Click on Deacon Live. You can see this as well. You ready? Here we go. Sweet. So he's sitting at the table looking at his phone, and his wife comes in and tries to sit across the chair from him. Whoops. If you missed that, hold on. One more time. So she flipped completely over, missed the chair altogether.
You okay down there?
Yeah.
Still gonna tell me you're not fucked up?
No, I'm not.
You still gonna tell me how you didn't drink anything at the restaurant?
A margarita, that's it.
I had a margarita. I only had one margarita. You're gonna tell me you're not fucked up? I only had one margarita.
You had a margarita. Nice try. Are you okay? I had my phone up. I wish my camera would have been on because I would have given you a 10 for your flip.
So if you're looking, you can see her in the they got a one of those sliding glass doors behind her. She's still laying on the floor. So he said, I wish I had my camera up or my phone up. I wish I had the camera running. And then he realizes.
Oh wait, I forgot we have cameras.
Yep, we got cameras in the house. So he posted that his wife came home drunk, but I'm looking at the countertops and stuff. They got liquor all over the goddamn place, and he's mad at her for coming home drunk. Come on, there's 3 or 4 bottles on the table, 3 or 4 dozen on the little wetback table. Wetback, oh god, little wet bar over here. So there you go. All right, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for listening to us, downloading us and stuff. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, on all our social networks. Make sure you listen to the is this going somewhere? It's not a podcast. It's just a recorded audio. I guess it would be a podcast. It's not broadcast anywhere, so the only way you can find it is go to profitradio.com and find that. I'll let you guys get back to what you got to do. Hope everyone's doing well. My name is the Deacon saying goodnight. And goodnight.
Wait! Come back!
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.